Ayesha Bell Hardaway is with us, assistant professor of law at Case Western University in Cleveland. So what do you make, Ayesha, of those interactions that we just saw described between Chauvin and that retired police supervisor, the supervisor saying that Chauvin didn't mention putting his knee on Floyd's neck, for example?
Yeah, I think it, thank you so much for having me. I think it falls nicely into what we know happened on May 25th, right? And that is that this police report, that the details of this incident were written in a way that's very, very different than what we know now happened. And so the fact that Chauvin left this out when talking to his line supervisor shouldn't come as any surprise, because we know the documentation that first was produced left out many details, and in fact painted Mr. Floyd quite differently than how he presented on that day.
You know, and Ayesha, we did hear that audio tape of the former police officer Chauvin saying that George Floyd was, quote, going crazy. Was that an attempt to bolster his own version of events, or potentially a dog whistle, if you will?
Well, I think it's both. I think it's both, to be clear. Obviously, you know, you want to be able to make the point that the use of force is justified. And so even in this day and age, knowing that there were cameras all around him, in people's hands, on street poles, inside stores, and even on his body or on his partner's bodies, he decided that he was going to give a verbal statement that contradicted that video evidence. And then in many ways, right, I think we know that the history of racism in America and the way that works in our criminal legal system works to the benefit of an individual who's able to use that dog whistle. And so I think it's both. And in some respects, as Bakari said earlier, if there's just one juror who hears that and it resonates with them, then he has what he needs.